worldwide. He was only able to do his research in short increments because as his studies progressed, him and another associate were actually plotting the course of this small solar system. And when the solar system came into our solar system, it perturbed or disturbed each and every planet in our solar system. And that is a fact. Regardless of what anyone tells you, the scientific evidence is there. I may not be able to get my hands on it, but it is there. And it is clearly visible in every planet in our solar system. And again, regardless of what anyone says. Now, in the weeks to come, he's going to be introducing me by telephone to a friend of his, and she worked for 5 years in the Antarctic as a climatologist. And she is also now retired, living back in the United States, and she has a story to tell. I'm going to see if I can get her to do a live interview with me. I doubt that's going to happen. But she does have a story to tell, and she does have a lot of photographic evidence. And from what he's telling me, her story is amazing. And the photographs that you've just witnessed today, no one has ever seen before. Nobody. And these were the beginning works of his imaging of the planet of the crossing, Nemesis, Nibiru, Planet X, and the planets and satellites that orbit this brown dwarf. You know, there may be a lot of you that don't have a religious belief or believe in the Bible. But in our conversation this morning, he talked about the biblical prophecies and very, very specific details about the Nemesis solar system. And our conversation was kind of similar to what Gil Broussard has researched, and going back all the way to the Chinese 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. Many different cultures depicting this Nemesis solar system and these planets. And I have to say that I'm pretty beside myself today after this conversation with him, and it definitely has me thinking very deeply. He also started talking to me this morning about the worldwide cover-up when dealing with this conspiracy. And that's exactly what it has become. A major conspiracy. Governments around the world do not know what to do. As he stated, the time was there, and now the time is here. And there really is no way to prepare or to defend the earth. Time and history will take its place, as he said. And the governments will continue their very large disinformation campaign, and they will keep the public misinformed. That is a fact. We touched on a lot of subjects this morning in our conversation. Some of those subjects I don't want to put into a YouTube video. However, he did tell me that, he said, "Scott, you're a good researcher. You're a good investigator." He said, "You have a lot of courage. Courage that I don't have. I wish I had the courage that you do, but I'm an old man. I may not have very much time left on this earth." He's going to keep on releasing some information. And I asked him, well, what about your notes? Did you take notes, written notes? And he said he did take notes, but they were basically journalized notes that he wrote down after he left the observatory and went home, and he would write these things down. And he agreed that he will release some of this information to me, and a lot of them are his thoughts and a lot of information that he received from his friend who worked in the Antarctic for 5 years as a climatologist. We talked a little bit about her and her story. She would spend 6 months at a time, and she worked for an Australian observatory and science organization in the Antarctic. And we touched on some of the things that she had told him, and they're quite unbelievable. And this goes very, very far deep into world governments, specifically 10 world governments.